All right. So I have quite often like a negative outlook on things, um, and I realize that it detracts from my life. Same thing with like complaining. Like I have a propensity to complain, and that also detracts from my life. So I was thinking about changing my mindset, also changing things I believe to be true, that I believe that were true but now aren't anymore, and figuring out like, well, what's better then? What is the truth that you want to have, and what is the thing that is going to help you? So let's do this weekend, this last of the 3-day weekends, and I really tried harder to take advantage of having 3 days away from work. Like I tried to fill those days with like, if not at least trying to do something that was good for myself. So like getting on the bike and going for 5 minutes, driving to a place and walking around a little bit, even if it's just 5 minutes. And then slowly, like that started wearing things away, my resistance, or just like improving my mood to where I was looking forward to it. And it got easier and easier. I started going further and further, and it's really working. Like there's still things that bother me about cycling in town. Like the traffic bothers me, homeless people depress me, trash everywhere depresses me. And so the solution there is one of the things that I realized when this weekend I went for a drive, just kind of like an aimless drive, like pick a direction, no destination, no time limit, and see what happens. Like let life provide opportunities to, something you're going to respond to. And it was great. It was really great. Like I didn't really get stressed. A little bit I did, especially when I went to Bonneville and there was security guards there asking about guns and telling me not to take any of my things out of my vehicle. And I'm like I ended up turning around and leaving. At first I was going to like try to do it, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's kind of ruined. But keep pressing forward, and it got better. But one of the things I saw when I was out there was all the bike paths that are along the gorge. And so biking here, the things that bother me, all I need to do is throw my bike on my car, drive out a distance, and there you go. That's the solution. I still get to do what I want, and it takes more effort, but everything difficult or everything good is going to require way more effort. I mean, that's just absolutely true. So it almost that makes it better. Like going for a walk in my neighborhood is good. Building up those walks until I'm hiking up in the mountains here is even better. And it's harder, it requires more effort, it takes more investment, and it's a good thing. Yeah, that drive this weekend was really nice. And I saw lots of things I would like to go back and see. There's like a shooting range out in the middle of nowhere that I want to check out. Like in city, it's one of the things, like the negative. In city shooting ranges is such a mixed bag. And even I went on the edge of the city shooting ranges, and this guy was unpacking his guns, and he had them sitting on the bench. And so his guns, as he's pulling them out, are pointing at me. And I'm like, hey man, you're flashing me with your muzzles. He's like, oh, they're not loaded. And I'm like, you don't point guns at people at the shooting range, not ever. But at the shooting range, it's written right there. And he got fussy with me. He didn't want to be wrong. He got fussy with me, and the range officer came over, and he didn't want to be wrong to the range officer, and he got kicked out. Like they were even showing, like everyone lays their guns down, barrel towards the range. Yeah, like, anyway. Anyway, so there's the grumpiness. So the solution is go check this place out. It looked real nice. It was cheap. $15 for 2 hours, man. And hopefully it's in the middle of nowhere. It won't be very busy. So, oh, another thing that was out there was, I can't believe they use this for commercial trucking. I think it's the grumpiness again. But just bigger and bigger communities forming out there is the thing. So, almost went to the Deschutes River on this road trip, and so I was looking on the map, and it looks amazing. Just like the river winding through the desert, and you don't see any vehicles or well, you don't see any homes. I saw like there was a rafting company there, so you I imagine sitting by the river watching people raft would be a blast. Probably people fishing, and that's the other thing too, is like places to pull off the road, trails that lead down to the river, and I don't know, maybe there's camping opportunities. I saw that there were campgrounds. I was just kind of wondering about free camping, but you know, a campground out there would probably be fine too. What else? Just more of that, like the whole like the Buddhist idea that every day you should ask yourself, like, what do you believe to be true? And like getting my health in order as kind of combined with like getting my mind in order. Like the better my mind's doing, the better I do physically. And like I'm down to like 200 pounds now, and it's just gonna be a little bit more mental discipline, and also paying attention. You know, like had like this big calorie dense lunch, and I just felt like crap the rest of the afternoon. So, you know, got to do the fruit and veggie thing for lunch. And then also like if I'm gonna be grumpy, man, it's gonna be grumpy in the morning. And I just thought like I was waking up like crack of dawn to work, and that wasn't working out eventually. And switching to evenings was good, because like get off work and typically it's just tired, and you know, kind of like wind down a little bit and then go to bed. And now I realize that like that's not necessarily working. Like I'm not really a morning person. I don't do a whole lot in the morning. So I'm gonna do like an early shift, like an early midday shift, and that will give me evenings to do things, and you know, wake up in the morning, go to work, get off work, rest of the evening, and hopefully getting to bed better, paying attention, more attention to sleep, and being more responsible with like drinking, which the drinking was like, a lot of that was just self-medicating. I was so depressed, and now like still there's bits of those moments of depression, but like I could so tell the difference, like you know, having one beer and then like going for an explore or something, like stopping a place, having a beer, and then like, you know, exploring the town or the scenery or the area or something like that, as opposed to like having a bunch of beers and you don't feel like doing anything, right? And your energy drops way low, and you go to bed early and you don't sleep good, and you wake up and you feel a little bit bleh, you know, the next day. So like paying attention to that, and like and that actually is something that I want. Like I don't want to drink a bunch of beer and go to bed early and then wake up feeling yucky. Just want to have like one or two beers like earlier in the evening, and then stop, and then by the time, you know, set a couple hours before I go to bed, and yeah, actually, you know, have it not interfere with my sleep, or just not interfere with like anything I want to do with the rest of my evening. Like not be too tired or whatever to play video games, or watch a movie, or read a book, you know, or go sit in the backyard and listen to music and smoke a pipe or something like that. So yeah, all these things, all these like kind of like negative habits, like I just need to like rethink and reevaluate how I go about them. You know, like walking along here was kind of like annoying and frustrating, so wake up a little early, drive a little bit further, and have a little bit more quiet experience. You know, no, hopefully, you know, yeah, have it just be more positive. And same thing with cycling, same thing with road trips, and same thing with my weekends, and same things with pizza and alcohol. Just figure out like what it is that you like about them. Is it true or not? And then how could you adjust that, like, to where, like, you know, that's fine. Like, if I'm gonna have a pizza, it better be like after like a long hike, or a slice of pizza, you know, instead of like in the middle of the day when I still have lots to do. And if I want to get up early in the morning and enjoy myself, I can't have a bunch of beer like right before I go to bed. And at all times, that I start thinking that something bothers me and something I'm upset, I'm like, what can I change then? How can I improve this? And that was with work. It's like, work sometimes I just, you know, it's not the best thing in the world. But what can I do to improve things a little bit better? Like, I tried adjusting my schedule, and you know, I tried adjusting a lot of things, like trying not to respond to negativity, trying not to dwell on things that take place, which, you know, makes you have to change some habits. Like, you have to avoid complaining, and you have to like practice a certain amount of detachment when you're dealing with people that behave in crazy ways. Just like, that person's crazy, you know, and nothing I say is going to change that, and anything I say is just going to prolong the experience. You know, I throw out some words, they're going to throw out even more words. So, God, it smells real nice out here. You know, this spot isn't bad. Like, I don't really appreciate all the traffic. I wish there wasn't homeless people here. Going over to that park was a little bit better, but like, there was also lots of fishermen over there, so I thought I'd just try this side. So maybe next time I'll just like, I got up and I was like kind of putting around for like an hour and a half, and I didn't really do anything. So I could have just made coffee, got dressed, coffee would be ready, and then I could just hop right in the car. And like, an hour and a half of nothing, that's like, you know, I could drive 45 minutes to someplace amazing out here in the woods, and then have 45 minutes come back, and it'd be now, you know, getting ready for work. So that's a good thought. Like, sometimes I'm like, well, I'll sit down and I'll have one cup of coffee and watch a YouTube video, but that doesn't actually add anything to my life. Like, that cup of coffee there and that YouTube video. Like, get your coffee, get in the car. That time that you spent doing all that, like, could be spent getting away from the people in the traffic and stuff like that. I mean, there'll be some traffic, there'll be some people, but it'll be different because, you know, you'll be farther away. So I'm a mixture of like kind of depressed right now, but also hopeful. Like, there's so many things that have improved in my life recently that I just feel like every step pushes me a little bit closer to having things be even better. Like, you know, having like times like when you finally get to that point where you like remember being depressed, but you can't quite remember what it was like finally getting it to that stage, to where like you're not on wave number 5 or wave number 6 or something like that. You're finally clear of the waves, and it's been a long time since you woke up and just didn't feel like getting out of bed, because, you know, why bother? Oh boy, it took me a long time to work that out in my mind.